Hello and welcome to Ellen Ruth Soap. I'm Ellen and today I'm going to be making a goat milk soap, and it's going to be very foodie inspired because of the fragrance I'm using. It's called Caramel Butterscotch Bourbon from Wholesale Supplies Plus. And oh, let me tell you, this smells pretty fantastic. I mean, it's yummy, caramely. It's exactly what the name says it is. So it also has a 14.5% vanillin. This is going to discolor to dark brown, and there's just no getting around it. So what I'm going to do is pull off a portion of the batter before I add the fragrance, and I use my pre-mixed titanium dioxide to lighten it, and I want to also use, so I'll have a part white, and then I will also use this caramel brown butterscotch mica from Wholesale Supplies Plus, which I thought, does that go along perfect or what? So I just wanted like a caramely swirl in there. I was thinking of just, dark bourbon, caramely, just yum, kind of like turtle ice cream maybe, I don't know. But it smells fantastic. And that's how I'm going to proceed. Let me just tell you about my titanium dioxide. I get asked this a lot. This is just a squeezy bottle with some little stainless steel balls. You can use marbles in the bottom. I mix my titanium dioxide. It's 1 part water-soluble TD to 2 parts warm water when I mix it. And because I don't go through this too fast, this will last me about a month or so. I do put a little bit of preservative in here. And then just shake it up every time I want to use it, and it makes it very handy. So that is how I do that. If you hear me shaking it and using it during videos, that's what that is. Again, it's going to be a goat milk soap, and I'm going to get everything pulled together, and let's make some awesome smelling caramel bourbon. What is it now? Caramel butterscotch and bourbon. Yum. Let's make some foodie soap. I just wanted to show you the goat milk process here. There is my, oops, if you can see, there's my silk right there that's not melted yet. There's my goat milk ice cubes melting. Sorry about the glare. And I'm just adding my lye very slowly in here. So what I did was I took a few ounces of distilled water and dissolved my cane sugar in that before I put my goat's milk in. So just discounted just a couple ounces to melt the sugar. And then once the sugar was dissolved, I measured up my goat milk, frozen goat milk. And now I'm just adding my lye very slowly and stir it in until you can feel the granules. You can kind of feel the grit of the lye crystals. And once those are fully dissolved, it's very smooth. So it's kind of a feel thing. When you're working with water, you can wait for it to be clear and you can see it's dissolved. When you're working with milk, you obviously can't see it. So you just stir, stir, stir until you don't feel any more grit. Of course, you have to add it all in there. So anyway, that's how I'm doing the goat milk. So I'm all ready to move forward. I've got all my oils and butters in here, and I also have colloidal oats and kale and clay, and I just got that, let it sit for a few minutes and really absorb into the oils. So I've got my goat milk lye solution here, which does have the silk fibers, some sodium lactate, and a teaspoon of titanium dioxide, because again, this fragrance has a lot of vanillin. So even with the TD, it's still gonna, I'm just trying to keep it from going like black. It's gonna get really dark brown, which is awesome. I don't mind a dark chocolate brown. I just, I don't want it to get a grayish tinge. So I will hand stir, and I have all my other colors prepped off to the side here. Go ahead and hand stir in the goat milk lye solution, and then we'll split off for our unscented portion, and then we'll get our fragrance in there. Oh, let me tell you, my studio is smelling divine right now. This caramel butterscotch bourbon, what a combination. To me, it's like nostalgic, fall, everything about it. I think I say that with every fall scent, but it just brings up all the good feels for me, I hope you all have a good season that you love, whether it's Christmas or summer, sandy beaches, something that just sort of evokes, feelings of happiness and all the good feels that go with it. Well, autumn is that way for me. I don't know, I feel that way about spring. I tend to be a happy person anyway, so I try to find the beauty in all the weathers, except devastating, hurricane-y, tsunami storms. That's a tough one, but I'm just talking like regular weather. and seasons. I can appreciate it all. And the humidity here really tests me in my positive attitude. Yeah. Although I did hear somebody say that the southern women and the humidity is good for your skin. So as I get older, I'm like, well, okay, maybe there's something to that. Maybe I can find something positive about the like hot, wet blanket humidity. All right, we've definitely got emulsion here. So this is my butterscotch caramel color. Just gonna pour a little off for a nice swirly whirl. Not too much because, you know, I want the majority of this to be fragranced. And then here's just a little TD, extra TD for a white swirl in there. And then I have a little bit of green here that I'm going to use for another project. I just need to take a little off for some piping. And that's all, just kind of stealing that away for another project. I have to put leaves on little apple embeds, so that's what that is for. Now that I've got that split off, I'm going to go ahead and add my fragrance into the majority here. Oh, I wish I had smell-o-vision, I really do. All right, and everything's looking great, so I'll go ahead and pull this out, and now I'll stick blend. And I think I'll start with my white here, lightest to darkest, even though this will be darkest eventually. Tap out the air bubbles and blend. All right, it's the next day, and let's get into these awesome caramely, butterscotchy bourbon. And look at that. That is already how dark the vanillin is making the inside. So I can't wait to see. And I'm hoping, so when you have a discoloring fragrance, it can migrate into soaps next to it. Like if you sit a soap next to something with a lot of vanillin, it can actually get a little shadow. But I'm really hoping that it won't shadow into the uncolored stuff too much because I want the swirls to show. But let's get in here and see what the inside looks like. Okay, so that's the inside color and that is the outside. Right there, that's what color this is going to turn. It's going to be interesting to see. All right, I cut off my little end sample piece and let's get into the middle of this and see how those swirls came out. They're kind of pretty and muted and cute. These smell great, but let me tell you, this color is what this is going to be on the inside. I'm really hoping though that these caramel, that little caramel color and that white will stay, because then it's going to pop. So this is what I was counting on, and then these swirls are going to stand out. But only time will tell. In the meantime, let's keep cutting here and see how these swirls are. And it's not going to be very swirly because I just saved off the tiniest bit to swirl because it's unfragranced. I'm very happy. I think those wispy swirls are very pretty. But yeah, again, that dark color is what that's going to turn into. Which is funny because the caramel color actually looks darker, but when it's all said and done, that's going to be lighter. Gotta love vanillin. Smells great. Does some interesting things to your soap. This is my challenge with fall fragrances. I love them, but most of them have a pretty heavy vanillin content. And so you're dealing with discoloration like that. That's what it's going to end up as. Which is beautiful, but it really does limit your color range and how you want to do it. So it's got some challenges. Nothing you can't overcome, but you know, there's challenges to it. It's still worth it though. All of these fragrances are, oh my goodness, yum. And that's so pretty. I think it's very warm though. It's a very warm sort of beautiful chocolatey, even though this isn't chocolate, but I don't know, just a warm toasty brown. So I don't mind it at all. Well, check this out. I cut these last night and let them sit overnight. It's been about 13 hours and look how dark they've gotten. And this is what I was hoping for. So yesterday, this caramely color looked dark compared to the batter, but here we go. Isn't that awesome? And they smell, oh, fabulous. Look, I just want to show you. You can see when I shave it, that's the inside. After a few weeks, the entire bar will be this dark color. It's just oxidized on the outside right now. But yeah, that's the color it was, and here's what it is gonna be all the way through.